Hello from East Cambs District Council. This is a presentation by the East Cambridgeshire Community Safety Partnership about how you can look after yourself and the people in your community. We will outline in this presentation issues such as fraud, cybercrime, domestic violence, hate crime, modern-day slavery, child criminal exploitation, and much more. We work with many partners in Cambridgeshire, working together to keep everybody in our community safe. This video will show you what to spot and what to do if you're concerned. Protecting our community is everybody's business, and as a community we can make a difference. We call this Eyes and Ears. You can become a supporter of the Eyes and Ears as a community champion, member or partner. On the screen are examples of some of our local and national partners who we work with to keep our community safe. Scams and fraud. A scam is a false promise to con someone out of money or personal details. Scams are fraud, and fraud is a crime. So how do you spot a scam? It could be things such as unsolicited contact, making too good to be true statements such as you've won a prize or you're due a tax rebate. These are common ones. Be wary if you have contact like this that you are not expecting. Another example is a new friend or partner who you've never met in person asking you to send or loan money to them. How to spot victims. Does somebody you know make frequent visits to the post office? Are their phone bills higher than normal? Do they have junk mail building up at home? Do they talk about a new romance? Have they come to be secretive or withdrawn, or are they suddenly struggling financially? What can you do? Return scam mail to sender or post a free post scam mail. Don't click on links in emails or texts unless you are sure they are genuine. Become a friend against scams to learn more. The e-learning course takes just 20 minutes. Search online for friendsagainstscams.org.uk. You can also contact Citizens Advice and report any scams to Action Fraud. Cybercrime. This is a fast-growing area of crime. More criminals are using the internet to commit offences. This criminal activity has no borders, either physical or virtual, and can cause serious harm and pose a threat to victims worldwide. What to look for. Being contacted for PIN numbers, passwords, or asking to move money between accounts. No genuine organisation or bank will ask you to do this. Again, avoid clicking links in emails and texts, and don't give out personal or financial details. They may know basic details about you, but this does not mean that they are genuine. Be mindful of who you trust. Criminals may try to trick you into their confidence by telling you that you've been a victim of fraud. Criminals often use this to draw you into a conversation, to scare you into acting and revealing security details. Remember, criminals can also make a telephone number appear on your phone handset, so even if you recognise it or it seems authentic, do not use it as a verification that they are genuine. What to do if you spot cybercrime. Remember, no one is too smart to be conned. Criminals are becoming more sophisticated than ever, and if you are worried that someone has become a victim, contact the Action Fraud helpline. Don't forget there are many forms of cybercrime and can include criminals using Wi-Fi hotspots, as well as emails, texts, dating and romance fraud, and online banking fraud. Dementia and loneliness. The word dementia describes a set of symptoms that may include memory loss and difficulties with thinking, problem solving or language. These changes are often too small to start with to notice, but for someone with dementia, they are severe enough to affect daily life. A person with dementia may also experience changes in their mood or behaviour. Loneliness is a large health concern that we face. Loneliness is as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day and is worse for you than obesity. Lonely people are more likely to suffer from dementia, heart disease and depression. How to spot dementia: challenges with memory, difficulties with thinking skills, disorientation, problems with spatial awareness, struggling to follow things, mood and personality changes. What can you do? If you come across someone you feel may be living with dementia, remember, be patient and understand. They may take longer to complete tasks. They may not be able to spot warning signs which you may identify when thinking about scams or people taking advantage. Loneliness. You can help someone who is lonely just by being there. Ask them how they are feeling and if you can help. It can be a comfort to have someone to listen. They may need support to make new connections or access services designed to tackle loneliness. Be patient. When people are lonely, they can feel misunderstood. You may need to offer gentle reassurance. Domestic abuse. Anyone can be a victim of domestic abuse, regardless of gender, age, ethnicity, socio-economic status, sexuality or background. There are different kinds of abuse that can happen in different contexts. These can be between partners or even between family members. How to spot abuse. There are many signs of emotional and physical abuse. The slide here lists many of these. If you notice behavioural changes, such as someone outgoing becoming quiet or withdrawn, it could be a sign of abuse. What to do if you spot domestic abuse. It's not easy to know how to support a friend or loved one who is experiencing domestic abuse, but you can make a difference. It can be very upsetting to think that someone is hurting a person you care about. Your first instinct may be to protect your friend or loved one, but intervening has potential to do harm. Of course, this does not mean you should ignore it. There are things you can do to help. The first step would be to contact some of the organisations for advice and support, such as Refuge, CAMS DASV, Women's Aid, or if in immediate danger, call the police. Hate crime. When hate incidents become criminal offences, they are known as hate crimes. A criminal offence is something which breaks the law of the land. Any criminal offence can be a hate crime if it was carried out because of hostility or prejudice based on disability, race, religion, transgender identity or sexual orientation. When something is classed as a hate crime, a judge can impose a tougher sentence on the offender under the Criminal Justice Act 2003. Examples of hate crime could be assaults, criminal damage, harassment, murder, sexual assault, theft, fraud, burglary, hate mail, or Malicious Communications Act 1988, causing harassment, alarm, or distress from the Public Order Act 1986. What to do if you spot a hate crime. Reporting makes a difference to you, your friends, and your community. By reporting hate crime when it happens, you can help stop it happening to someone else. You will also help the police to better understand the level of hate crime in your local area and improve the way they respond to it. Modern slavery. Modern slavery can take many forms, including forced labour exploitation, sexual exploitation, criminal exploitation and domestic servitude. An important part of the fight against modern slavery is having a public that is informed and aware of the indicators. Human trafficking is also a form of modern slavery. How to spot modern slavery. There are many ways to spot modern slavery, which are listed on this slide. These include physical appearance, isolation, poor living conditions, few or no personal effects, having restricted freedom of movement, unusual travel times, and somebody who's reluctant to seek help. They can appear frightened or hesitant to talk. What to do if you spot modern slavery? For help, advice, support, or to report a case of modern slavery, please call the Modern Slavery Helpline 08000 121 700 or report it on the Modern Slavery Helpline website, which is modernslaveryhelpline.org/report. There is also a new app to help spot the signs of modern slavery and to call or submit a written report to the helpline. The free Unseen app is available in app stores. Children at risk of abuse and neglect. The safety and welfare of children or safeguarding is everybody's responsibility. Safeguarding means protecting children from physical, emotional, sexual abuse and neglect in all environments, including at home, in school, on the street and in the digital world. It also means helping children to grow up into confident, healthy and happy adults. Any child can be abused anywhere at any child. Children with disabilities are especially vulnerable. Children can be abused by anyone, adults or other children. How to spot abuse and neglect. Listed below are some of the ways that you may be able to spot abuse and neglect in children. Physical abuse. This could be from bruises, marks. There may be over-anxiety to please, burns, frequent absences from school. Sexual abuse. It could show up as sexual behaviours that you would not expect from a child, unexpected reactions of fear or wariness to people. Emotional abuse could show as a lack of confidence, self-harm, eating disorders, or attention-seeking behaviours. Neglect. You may be able to spot that children's clothes are dirty, or they're scruffy or unsuitable for the weather. They're left alone with unsuitable carers, or have poor hygiene. They can be exposed to risks or dangers, such as being at home in an unsafe environment. What to do if you spot a child at risk of abuse and neglect. If you're suspicious or have any concerns that a child is suffering or is likely to suffer significant harm, including any form of mistreatment or abuse, contact MASH, Multi-Agency Safeguarding Hub, on Cambridgeshire Customer Services 0345 045 5203. Children at risk of criminal exploitation. CCE, child criminal exploitation, can take on many forms. It includes trafficking, sexual exploitation, slavery, forced marriage, female genital mutilation, as well as county lines. It can... How to spot criminal exploitation. Gifts that are unexplained, going missing from home, school or care, getting physical injuries they can't or won't explain, getting picked up by people you don't know, actively keeping things from you, carrying or hiding weapons in their rooms, phone calls or texts and being secretive, acting strange or anxious, new friends who seem to be controlling, new people in a vulnerable adult's home, new significant changes in emotional well-being. Give them signs that you will support them. Give them a safe space to speak. What to do if you do spot criminal exploitation. Be aware of where your child or teenager is and who they're with. Monitor friendships and new associates. Look for signs as your child or teenager having unexplained money, clothes, mobile phones, etc. Be available for your child to approach. Take note of anything suspicious and raise awareness with the police or professionals who you or your child may be working with, and be vigilant. Phone police or Crime Stoppers with any information you have. Adults at risk of abuse and neglect. An adult is at risk is someone who has need for care and support, whether or not the authority is meeting these needs, is experiencing or is at risk of abuse and neglect. and as a result of those needs is unable to protect him or herself against the abuse or neglect or the risk of it. The term adult at risk is a short form of the phrase an adult at risk of abuse or neglect. How to spot abuse and neglect. It's not always easy to spot the signs of abuse. It's important to recognise the signs to prevent the abuse continuing or escalating. Some signs to look out for may include the ones on the slide. To sum up, being aggressive or angry, becoming quiet or withdrawn, sudden changes in character, physical signs, bruises, wounds, or untreated injuries, the same injuries happening again, not wanting to be left by themselves, being unusually light-hearted and insisting nothing's wrong. Also, their home may be unusually dirty, cold, or untidy, or you might notice things going missing. Other signs can include a change in finances, such as not having as much money as usual. What can you do? If you feel someone you know is showing signs of being abused, talk to them to see if there's anything you can do to help. If an adult is being abused or neglected, it's important to find help for them. If you are concerned about an adult at risk, you can call MASH on 0345 045 5202. Radicalisation. Radicalisation and extremism are processes that involve either an individual or a group who adopt extreme political, social or religious ideas. These ideas can reject or undermine our community or modern ideas, as well as our freedom of choice. It can also lead to terrorism and terrorist acts. How to spot radicalisation. Radicalisation can be really difficult to spot. Signs that may indicate somebody is being radicalised include isolating themselves from family and friends, talking as if from a scripted speech, unwillingness or inability to discuss their views, a sudden disrespectful attitude towards others, increased levels of anger, increased secretiveness, especially around internet use. What to do if you spot radicalisation. Reporting can make a big change in someone's life. By contacting available services and discussing your suspicions and concerns, you could be saving a life. The information that you share can also help to provide a much needed bigger view of the situation in your community and beyond. Fires and falls. Cambridgeshire Fire and Rescue Service is committed to supporting the safety and well-being of residents in all communities that they serve. There may be vulnerable people living in your community that are in danger of suffering from a fall or even a fire. It's important to look out for these individuals and offer them the support and protection that they need. There are signs for you to be aware of to help identify people that may be at risk from common hazards such as fires and falls. Signs that someone may need some support. Unkempt gardens, hedges not cut, unwanted items piling up in the garden, poor lighting at the property, maintenance required on the property, poor quality or rickety windows and doors, lack of mobility, unable to get to the shops, social isolation, lots of scam junk mail building up at the property. Hazards to look out for within the actual location. Electrical leads trailing, trip hazards, sockets overloaded, old electrical appliances, washing, drying in front of the fire, evidence of hoarding, stairway obscured, and others. What can you do? Cambridgeshire Fire and Rescue understand how important it is for people to live safe and well at home, and they offer a huge amount of available support, including safe and well visits. These are home fire safety checks and are available to those who are the most vulnerable in our community. These may include those who smoke, have a disability or mental health problems. Safe and well visits provide sufficient information to support you and with permission refer you to selected partner agencies who will be able to support further. These are about 60 minutes long and are completely free of charge. Cambridgeshire Fire and Rescue will also provide advice in relation to promoting health and safety of individuals with hoarding concerns, as well as providing information to care providers. Fire safety assistive technology. They are now installing misting system devices into the homes of vulnerable people in our communities to help keep people independent in their homes for longer. When living alone or living with restrictions caused by mobility, disability or other factors, it's likely a person may not be able to raise the alarm. Further advice and support within your local community. Neighbourhood Watch is a scheme set up in a street, part of a street or a group of streets that aims to reduce crime, encourage neighbourliness and improve the quality of life for local residents and tenants. It's even more important now than it's ever been. Please look up your local Neighbourhood Watch scheme to see how you can get involved. The following slides will include useful numbers from our partner agencies, some of which we have mentioned before. If you believe somebody is in immediate danger, please call 999.